All right, so I'm here with Assimilate OpenAI. I'm going to keep building OpenAI tools. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started here, share my screen, and get right into it. Okay, so we got OpenAI on the agenda for today, and I'm going to just make this a little bit more uh, conducive to demo. Perfect. So let's get right into OpenAI. Here we go. Assimilate OpenAI. So a couple things I'll tweak here that's on my agenda is that I didn't do before that I do want to do is that I'm going to set up pre-build first. So I'm going to go to code spaces and look. This is really cool because it allows me to basically have a faster startup time. Which is huge for me. I want to actually use this dev container environment here and just pre-build it very, very quickly. So let's go through here. Perfect. And we can look at the runs and see the output. Now, one thing that's pretty cool about the pre-build thing too is that if we select this icon, create status badge, I can copy it and I can put it directly up inside of this environment. And so this is pretty slick because, I mean, we're in a new world now where not only can I see that my code is passing tests, but also that the environment that it's running in actually is valid, right? So other people can actually clone this. So if I am doing something with OpenAI, for example, and I have some custom things I want inside of there, it's all going to be set up. So now that I got that set up and I go ahead and I click on it, it should show us the status of the build, which I don't think will take a ton of time to actually build. But let's just watch what it does real quick. We can see it's creating a template and getting things cooking here. I guess a couple of things that I'll point out about OpenAI. I guess we'll let this thing run, and I'm going to go to OpenAI real quick, the docs, and let's see what else we can get cooking. So I think the stuff that would be good to cover today would be Streamlit. I want to get a little bit more into doing things with Streamlit and even doing continuous delivery and those kinds of things. And so I think I've gone through the quick start tutorial for the most part, but what I haven't gone through yet is using Streamlit. And so let's go back here and say examples. If I go to documentation, let's see if we can find this. Guides, code completion, references, parameters, quick start tutorial, user guides, text completion, code completion, fine tuning. I don't see a ton of Streamlit documentation, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if there's a great way to search for it either, but building application, communities, chat with us, playground. Yeah, I don't see a great documentation for Streamlit, but we see other libraries from other languages in here. Let me see if I can do a Google search for it. I say Streamlit, OpenAI. Okay. Let's just go to Streamlit. How about that? Let's just look at Streamlit documentation. And I think this might be the way to go is we started here. If you're new to Streamlit, where do you go? And we have some installation steps here. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just follow the Streamlit guide and let's hook that into OpenAI. So we have the pre-build here. It looks like it was successful. If I go back to to this. I can go to, this is the template. So I guess it is still cooking. So I can read a little bit more on some of the Streamlit. So what do I want to do first is, I think get some of the OpenAI code to work within Streamlit itself. And so I'm going to need to install Streamlit and actually use some of the user interface code here to actually build stuff, and probably will create a directory to hold all of my apps so they don't just get scattered to the wind. And let's take a look at how you create an app real quick. So you installed it, main concepts, create your first app, title Uber pickups in New York City, run Uber pickups. I see. You can pass a URL to Streamlit. So that is pretty slick, actually. So you can do a GitHub raw. So this is potentially a reason that actually it would be great to have a directory, because then I could just pass this to Streamlit and have it run things. So if we take a look at this, let's take a look at this code here. This is pretty cool. What does it do? It says Streamlit, and we can see actually it's got a bunch of stuff here for pulling data from different locations, grabbing things from a certain directory, and loading things in. So that's pretty slick, actually. And this thing is almost finished here, uploading this template. But I like this. I like this concept of being able to pull in the data and fetch it. And in particular, look at this. We see that S3 could be a great location to grab data. Actually, I think this would be a good app that would. I think this is probably a really good one for me to start with. Is first get the demo for Streamlit that does some fancy things here, clean it up a little bit, then integrate OpenAI so that I'm actually able to merge both platforms at the same time. Because I think this is very similar to what somebody would want to do in the real world, is combine the best of OpenAI plus the best of Streamlit. So let's just let this thing finish. It should be almost done here. I guess this is the whole reason for using the pre-build, is that once you've got this thing set up, you don't have to worry about rerunning it ever again. It should just be a very, very fast launch time. So let's let this thing finish here. Uploading pre-built template. I guess you can search logs. Let's see, like apt. I don't know if you have to actually have it collapsed, but you can see everything that it's doing. It's pushing things to the template location here. I guess we can look at other things that I've got set up. Now, one thing I haven't set up yet that I want to do soon is that I thought not only can you do pre-build, but I believe that you can push it potentially to actually a container repository. But I don't actually know how to do that yet. But that would be another thing that I would probably want to take a look at soon, is how that would work. But yeah, this is definitely taking some time to get this thing hooked up. Uploading this template. I guess what I can do while it's finishing is just double check through the documentation for the Streamlit. So we're going to grab things from S3. We're going to load in a data frame. We're going to use this thing called SD cache, which what does it do exactly? So you won't see anything change. So it's basically just going to cache expensive operations for us. And so let's see how SD cache works. When you mark a function with the cache annotation, it tells Streamlit that whenever that function is called, it should make sure that the actual bytecode that makes up the body of the function, the code variables and files, and the input are actually changed, which is nice. It will only check for changes within the current working directory. If your function is not deterministic, so it's got like randomness to it, then it's not going to be cacheable. Lastly, you shouldn't mutate output of the cast functions. Inspect the raw data, draw a histogram. So yeah, this looks good. I like this. Okay, looks like this thing is finally ready. So I can go back here and hopefully this is just a super fast launch. And we can now see our pre-built code space, right? So it should just take like a few seconds to launch. And then going forward, every time I launch this OpenAI code space, it's just going to be lightning fast. There we go. So it is pretty fast. Perfect. So let's go ahead and let's check everything we got cooking in this environment. So I think the first thing I'm going to check is what I got running. Now, in terms of extensions, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to uninstall this real quick because I want to install the Copilot Nightly. Copilot Nightly, because I want to get the bleeding edge stuff. I want the latest stuff. And then I also want to install Labs, which will do code translation and all explainability and all kinds of other things. So that's great. And so we'll do that. So these look good. So I got these cooking, and I guess what I could do as well is I could right click and I could say add the dev container, and I could also say to this add the dev container. There we go. So we got these installed. And if I went and I look at this dev container, let's just double check that it's set up. If I go here, yes, yeah, there we go. Oh, we want to delete that one. There we go. So you do want to tweak it a little bit, make sure everything's set up. We don't need to rebuild this. It can rebuild later behind the scenes for us, but I'm ready to go. So I'm going to put into the README what I'm going to do today. And let's say day 4 is we set up pre-build code spaces and dive deep on Streamlit. So let's go ahead and a directory called Streamlit apps. Or Streamlit apps. That, and I'm going to go into Streamlit apps. We'll call this, Streamlit apps. Streamlit apps. Do this. We're going to create this. We're going to use this as the tutorial here. So using this as the starter, and let's just get this thing cooking. So if I go to README or requirements, we have Streamlit. Now I did want to add one change here. It's a new thing I've been doing with Makefiles, and I'm going to call this refactor. And I like to do a format and a lint, which just I think is a good thing to do when you're doing AI. I need to go up directory. Refactor. There you go. Everything looks good. No lint problems. Perfect. So if I go back into Streamlit apps here, you can just create one called Uber Demo. uberdemo.py. So let's go right into Uber Demo. Streamlit apps. There we go. Now, what do we need to do first is let's add some docs here. and we'll say, based on this tutorial, that. Next up, I would say we want to add the shebang line. These are going to be executable scripts typically. So Python, I don't know if it's strictly necessary because it's Streamlit, but and we're going to say import Streamlit. Now, we also, well, let's see what the documentation says for this first. So we use button. Okay, so here's the whole, we're advanced enough to do it chunks at a time. So I'm gonna first get the initial stuff set up here. I'm gonna do it piece at a time, piecemeal at a time. I'll put this right here. So there we go. So import Streamlit as st, import pandas as numpy, import numpy as np, and we're gonna say Uber pickups in New York City. I think in theory, this would work if I run it. And I even could put a little run command in here to run Streamlit Uber. Yeah. Okay, so it's smart enough to tell me Streamlit run Uber demo. What happens? Does it run? I don't know if you have to do some kind of cores. I think you do actually, if I remember correctly, because I had another Streamlit. This one, what did I do? Streamlit, convert a comment into code. Let's look at the README file, because I had a README file that I thought it's interesting that I didn't put this in the documentation. So I can put a note here that says to run Streamlit inside of GitHub code spaces, do this. And it's going to be something like that. It's going to be something like Streamlit, but I think you have to give it a flag to get rid of some security settings. But let's try. Let's try one more time. It should pop up a window here. Does it work? It may not. Yeah, so it may just sit there and hang. And I think I remember with Streamlit. We'll go Streamlit. And or Streamlit not working. Here we go. App is not loading. This is the one you do. I think it's this one. You always run this. And I could even put this into the documentation. Kind of annoying that it's this common, but maybe there's a good reason that it's this fragile. Especially for demos, like it just seems kind of weird the demo doesn't work without a flag. Okay, there we go. So it looks like it works. We got this thing cooking. And in fact, I can go to my make file as well, and we can actually tell it to also look inside of the Streamlit, right? We also want it to look at Streamlit, and if we say make lint, what happens? Go up one directory. Make lint. No module. What does it say? Streamlit. No module. I think it doesn't like the name, so I'm going to move the Streamlit and Uber demo to Streamlit Uber underscore demo, or even better like that, Uber demo like that. And now if I do make lint, sure what it says, no module named Streamlit app. Oh, because it's I think I need to say that. Now try it. Make lint. Nope, it didn't like that either. Well, what happens if I do Streamlit? Oh, because I renamed it differently. Why? So Streamlit. So I can let's try this. Statement. Still having problems. No module name Streamlit app dot py. Let's say, let's try this. Let's just say pilot Streamlit. Okay. I really don't know why that's things getting so angry. And in fact, I'm just going to do something like this, which is we can just put try that. We can do this. I can rm Streamlit under if I do movements, what happens? Good. And if I say formats, lints, same for this, we can put this in there like that. And then we also can do something like this. So we can give it, so if I say now refactor, make refactor. There we go. Good. So I've got my system, my build system. This is to me like my eyes and ears, is I want to just make sure everything's working properly. Now that I got this, we can start to put the rest of the demo together, which is now let's cache that data. So let's put that in there next. So here, and so what's going to do, it's going to load the data using pandas um, from S3. And so I don't know how big this is. I mean, I guess I could download it and double check to see how big it is. But now data URL, HTTPS, data URL. It's a weird, why is there, it's just strange. Like there's not a complete path here, but maybe it cleans it up or something. Like, what is, this is weird. What lowercase x? I'm trying to think what this does. The lowercase pd data.rename. Oh, I see. It's, I mean, this I think is too fancy to be totally honest. I think it makes the code not as useful, but sure, we'll use their demo. I don't like that, but I won't get hung up on it. And then we can load the data here. Well, let's just even run it. Let's just get done with it. Let's just go through here. And let's see what happens. Run Streamlit. So we'll just say here, in fact, I could even do, if I go to the README file real quick, run Streamlit Uber demo, something like that. Uber demo. I think I renamed it. So let's take that and let's run it. Uh-oh. The config option is not compatible. Warning. If I change into that directory, what happens? I say Streamlit run What happens if I do this? And I just run it from here. What happens? I guess it depends on where you run it from, which is kind of weird. But let's let it wait for a second here. I'm assuming so behind the scenes, it's probably grabbing data from grabbing data from S3. That might be one of the issues. Hanging for sure. Yeah, this is always one of the things that's weird about Streamlit is it definitely behaves in a weird way. Like it's kind of non-deterministic, and you're like, what is it doing? Is it working? Is it not working? So it says, warning, the config is not compatible. Oh, so please disable. So maybe it's telling me that I'm screwing up. So let's do that. So let's do that and dash dash. I think it was telling me what to do. Dash dash server dash enable. Let's do that. Equals false. Can I disable both? Now what happens? Bad request. So we need to figure out why this is. So the symptom says well, let's do this. Let's not do any disabling. And let's just run it. What happens? I don't see anything. It just says here, service temporarily available, this is not available. You can view external URL. What happens? Try one more time. So I think this is one of the tricky things about Streamlit is does anything work? And but when I do the other one, it says warning, the config option is not compatible. And if, at least this, oh, I don't know. I don't know why it's telling me all this stuff, but now things are working. So show the raw data. I mean, pretty cool little application. Shows all the pickups. Neat. And so what does the raw data give us? So it's got time. Yeah, I don't know how much I could do with OpenAI with this. But that doesn't mean I am not glad I did it. But I think I'm gonna check that in. So say get status. Ooh, what's stuff in here? Get status. Get add.dev container. Get add everything. Adding demo. So probably what I would need to do then is start to tweak this demo a little bit. And so in order to do that, what I'll need to do, open and merge editor. Yeah, close with, I mean, I hate merging. There you go. A4, A3. Let's do this. There you go. Okay. So git pull, git commit, fixed, push. Okay, so let's just go back into this stream of apps. Another one called OpenAI open AI pandas or something like that. So because I think that's what I'm kind of curious about, is how to grab some data and run it inside of OpenAI plus this. So I think the last thing that I was, if we take a look at this, we can get some ideas. So the loading the data is probably one of the things I could play around with a little bit with any data. And so let's just steal this part of the code here. So I'm gonna go through this, and I'm gonna go to OpenAI, and let's do this, and also imports OpenAI. Now, what I am curious about is what data sets we can grab and from where that would be unique and have text in them. And I think potentially, isn't there like Amazon product reviews? Let's try that. Amazon product reviews, S3. Hugging Face. Or like, I don't know. Here we go. What does this do? What does this do? Wireless product reviews. I mean, this is kind of a cool idea. Let's look at we could look in here, or just trying to think what would be the easiest way to use OpenAI. I need a data set with some text in it that has data frames, and that's going to be the tricky thing to figure out real quick. Is, now, can I grab data sets from here, like using data set from data sets? I guess I could do that, which is interesting. Let me try this real quick. So if I just open up IPython real quick, I guess we could use the libraries here. So if I go to requirements, so Hugging Face, let's install Hugging Face. I think it would be with the datasets library. So Hugging Face datasets, how do you use this? So this might be where I could get some datasets. Oh, datasets. Okay, let's try that. So this looks like kind of a cool place to get data. And so if I say exit, make install. Install. Let's try that out. And I mean, if it really is this easy to grab some data sets, the squad, who is squad? What does that mean? Squad data set, load a data set and print the first example. List data sets, list all available data sets. Okay, well, this might be one of the ways to grab some data for a demo app. I think we can try this out. And in fact, this particular one is probably what I want. I probably want this product reviews data set. So let's try it out. Let's go through and let's just go to IPython. Let's just paste this in. Does this work? Whoa, there you go. Not bad. No config specified. That the warning is not great. A value error. I don't know why it's blowing up though. That's not a good sign. Path, create a dataset builder, return iterable in case of streaming. It's kind of a bummer that they give me a weird a weird example. Let's go back to here. And let's do IPython. At least we can list all the data sets. Wow, there's a lot of data sets. The next thing that we can do, let's just move this over here, is load a data set and print the first one. Okay, let's try that. Load a data sets, generate it. Whatever this is, the squad, I think this is what I need. So I'm gonna just keep it simple. So I'm gonna go back to this OpenAI pandas. I mean, I could probably even change the name of it too, and call this MV Streamlit OpenAI pandas to Streamlit apps OpenAI pandas Hugging Face. Like, boy, this is like the kitchen sink. This is like every possible cool tool at the same time. And what we would do is we would say from Hugging Face or from data sets, right? What did they ask me to do? They said, yeah, this. We want this. So let's do this. We don't need to list data sets. We just need load data sets. So let's see if we can swap this out here. And in fact, do we even need pandas? I don't think we do. Let's just put this into a function here. And let's just say the squad here. Now, one of the things that's going to be a problem, I probably need to separate OpenAI and also Streamlit. And so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to go into this and go to Streamlit. I'm going to have to make a file real quick called OpenAI Hugging Face. OpenAI Hugging Face. Lord, OpenAI Hugging Face. Let's just do this first. And this will have to put loading in there first because it's too complex to try to build this out without me knowing what's going on. And so first we will just say def, return or like squad data set or something like that. So squad data sets. And that looks pretty good, actually, what it's telling me there. Load squad data set. There we go. And then let's just see what it gives me. So if I say Python, OpenAI Hugging Face, what does it give me? And yeah, Hugging Face. Okay. Well, and then if I say 0, if I look at the documentation here again, let's just put this in there. Process that data. So let's just give a little example here. Example. So this, let's do this. So let's say, train, and then we'll do that. So let's try that. Squad data set. Okay. Oh, function is not scriptable. Okay, that's good. And if we just grab the context out of this, let's do that. Grab the context. Does that work? That's probably what we care about. There we go. Nice. So this could work. So now we could feed this into OpenAI and have it do some magic with it. So what I would do then is I would say import OpenAI. And let's look at some OpenAI code that I have earlier. So what does this do? We got to create code here, submit question. I think we want this, something like this. And we can go back to my thing here. Got all that. The prompts would be the text. The prompts. Text. Oh, yeah, there we go. Which, this is dumb. This is bad code. I should just say text. We don't need to do this. This is stupid. Now, the other, and I need to say import OS. The other thing that I would need to do here is that let's say make factor like, well, have another bash terminal factor. There you go. Does the code work? Redefining name data, line 34. 26. Wait. Oh, that's some other demo. I can fix that later. So I guess the issue would be if we go back to the OpenAI documentation and we look at the examples here, we probably want to do a we want to have it basically chat or some we want it to basically we want to do writing, right? So if we say writes or complete, that's where I don't see text to command, English and then language, where I would actually say generate not an outline, interview, notes to summary, text to command, translate text into programmatic commands. See, I don't convert. I don't know yet what it will give me. So the prompt is still kind of a weird thing for me. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to just feed this in. So I'm going to say, payload is this. And then I'm going to say submit question, payload in, just like, see what happens. And we can say print payload. So see if we can wire all this together. And the other menu here. So I need that. Question. So it's going to take the squad data, pull it down, feed it to OpenAI. Now, what is OpenAI going to do with it? I think so that was, the school was founded, the high school section of the college. I mean, I could basically say Now I don't know what it's doing here. So I guess I could look through my history and see like what did it print out before. So the school's I think this is what it printed out before. The school's campus is a block southwest of the state capitol. Many of the school's alumni have gone on to other, careers, etc. I guess I could just make a function that says like, 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 you know, print what's going on or something like that, like def, show before after text. And then we would do that. Show question answer submit. So we have, okay, so we could do payload, and then we would do show after payload. Let's try that. So this would be, and I could even do something like this. And do like a new line, and like here, change this, and change that. Also do new line. And for this, I could say, put like a little marker, so I know that like, okay, here's where the answer is, and let's run it. Let's see what happens. So go through here. So the answer is nothing. so we can say the payload goes there. The text show before after. Question. Oh, because it's not an F string. I was like, that's an old. There we go. Question. Architecturally, the main school has a Catholic character, blah, 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 blah. It's a simple modern stone statue of Mary. And now let's see what happens when we do an answer, or let's see what the result is from OpenAI. Here we go. Answer. The school's campus is a block southwest. So it gave me some extra stuff. Now, what could I do to make this into a Streamlit app? That's a great question. I don't know. So I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna try real quick though. So let's go here, and let's go to OpenAI Hugging Face. OpenAI Hugging Face, pandas. This thing. We don't need pandas. We don't need NumPy. OpenAI pandas Hugging Face. So we can get rid of this stuff. We can just call this like Hugging Face data, or the squad, right? We don't need this. We do need this. Now this. I like this function name here because I think I'm going to use this. So I want to do something like, so I need to first put this code here. We also need to say imports from data sets. What did I do? I did oh yeah, from data sets import load data set. Got that. And now this would just be like this would be the row. This would just be the row. And then all I would do here is I would just say squad data set And we would say, we'll go back to my other example, which let's just make these next to each other. My other example was this. Let's do that. Something like that. And so this would be the row. By default, would be like equal 0 or something like that. And it would say return the payload. And it's going to say loading data, load data. Data is equal to load data 0. Let's just do that. Let's do row, and we'll just say data 0. Done. Show row data. Yeah, I like this. And then we can just, now what I'll need to do though is let's use our OpenAI stuff here. And let's look at our other piece of code, and we'll do submit question. Submit question text. That's what we care about. So we'll go through here. So that's, we'll say results. Or OpenAI results. OpenAI results. That's, and then we'll throw this in there like this. Perfect. And done. Loading data and giving to OpenAI. There we go. Now, in theory, this could work. I don't know if it will work, but let's try it out. Now, how do I run this again? I just do, annoying that I have to do this weird command, but Streamlit run OpenAI and AI and as face. It probably won't work, but maybe it will. Yeah, so I need to put the the command this thing. Okay, let's do that. Here. Let's run this. Whoa, looking close. Text is not defined. We can fix that. What do you mean text is not defined? Oh, because submit question, because it's going to be payload. There you go. So let's run it again. Let's open this up. Look at this. We got OpenAI, Hugging Face, and Streamlit. In theory, all friends, which is basically a Frankenstein. Yeah, there we go. We have a Frankenstein app. Yes, Frankenstein is alive. So yeah, pretty cool. So this is what was put in from the Hugging Face dataset. And then I believe all this is from OpenAI. Got it. Okay. Ship it. We'll push our code here. I'm going to put this documentation into this app, this thing like that. And I'll go to the README file real quick and put in here, basically CD into Streamlit apps, which, and then run. Say this is a Frankenstein OpenAI plus Hugging Face plus Streamlit. I feel mission accomplished. That was quite an ordeal. Get status. Ooh, let's go up a level. Status, get add. Let's commit it. Team demo. Perfect. Very handy. So yeah, that was actually very productive. I'm glad I figured that out. And next week, another hour of OpenAI. See you soon.